Hi, everybody. Today I'm very lucky because I have the chance to talk with the drummer of a so famous band named Chicago with Wally Reyes Jr. Hi, Wally.
Hello,
How are you doing?
very happy to be here.
It's you are actually on tour across the US. Um, the best way to listen Chicago for me is during live show. What is the part of improvisation into live show, and how does it come?
With Chicago,
Yeah,
we have two different sets: a 90-minute set and a 2-hour set with intermission. A lot of the songs are not about improvisation. They're little windows.
yeah,
It's almost like I I I parallel a lot of things, kind of like cuisine.
mhm,
And
yeah,
since you're French, but believe me, I
yes,
know the French cuisine very well. But for example, I go and get a steak tartare poêlée, and I don't want improvisation. I
okay,
want that, and the next night I want
yeah,
it because it was good yesterday, and I
mhm,
want the same,
okay,
the same, and the same. So consistency and improvisation are two different things.
mm,
There are windows, like we have a drum solo, percussion
yeah.
solo in the show,
Mm.
and sometimes there are drum fills.
You can do jams. Yeah.
No, we
No,
don't
no.
have jams in the
Ah,
show.
mhm,
We there's like maybe a drum fill that I might do taka taka tukutum boom
mm,
or ta
yeah,
ta takatum
yeah,
or
mm,
tukutukum pam pam. Different phrases to bring in the band on one.
mm,
But consistency is a very professional thing. It's like a restaurant.
mhm,
Uh, when I go sushi, sometimes when I go to a sushi bar or
mhm,
a restaurant, I get say like the tuna and the
mm,
yellowtail, and I know what I want because
mm,
they have to be consistent. You
yeah,
cannot improvise and go, what is this? And
yeah,
it's like, that's not yellowtail, that's something else. Go, well, I
ah,
improvise. Well, no. And so, but sometimes I actually tell the sushi guy, hey, how about an improvisation? Prepare something special that is you. Oh, really? And they love it. It's like
yeah,
jazz. So jazz,
mm,
there's a lot of improvisation in jazz. Within solos, Jimmy, the horn players, uh, sometimes Lou, there's windows for little improvisations that are not the same. But usually is we played the hit songs, and
everything is prepared.
yeah,
Yeah, mhm,
you won,
yeah, yeah,
like today at breakfast, I
mhm,
ordered right before here, I ordered 2 eggs over easy, with potatoes and a toast. I don't want
yeah,
improvisation on the toast. I want wheat toast. I want
yeah,
that. That's what I'm paying for. So you give the people the soundtrack of their lives
mm,
as close as possible. Of course, it's not going to be just like the record because artists grow.
yeah,
Things tend to change a little bit. You go to see Paul McCartney, he doesn't sound like he sounded in the 60s.
mhm,
Neither does Sting.
yeah,
And many people change the keys.
mm,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, it's always a different things between bands and singers. And at the very beginning of Chicago, the studio of the band was too small to record live session with all the musicians. How can we do to include live remixes or classics in a next album during a tour? How the band built this kind of album, because you had to keep the master safe to produce the next album. How
Uh,
do you record so much uh, instrument?
yeah, the recording process always changes. The recording process, I guess, for everybody,
Hmm.
including the Beatles, they recorded in 4 tracks. Now they're unlimited tracks.
Hmm.
And right now, during COVID, for example, we're doing a new album,
Yeah.
and we didn't gather in the studio all together like the first album or the second album or the 70s or the 80s or even the
Hmm.
90s.
Hmm. Yeah.
Now, during COVID lockdown, which was a year and a half, I learned how to record my drums really well, and I have a studio in my third floor. And
Separate? Yeah.
yeah, they send me
Yeah.
the files,
Hmm.
and I add drums, and then we communicate like we're communicating right now.
Yeah.
Like the difference is right now you're maybe the producer, and
No,
then I have like right here I have my drum set, and
yeah.
I go ram pam paga do go tung chikita tung chikita, and you go no, not 16 notes. Can you use that more straight? Okay.
Oh,
Boom,
okay.
ga, boom, boom, ga. Yeah, that's it. Okay, let's do it. Click, click, click. Oh, let's do it a little slower.
Yeah.
Click, click, click. Takato, boom, ga, gu, and I'm playing with the headphone with the music. I send it to them, and then the engineer. So basically, there's a central studio, which is the producer and the engineer, and all the tracks from wherever they are in the world. You can record today if you have a
Yeah.
proper studio from anywhere. And we live all over the United States. I live in Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky, where my house is. Some of the guys are in Nashville. Some of them are in Sedona, Arizona.
Everywhere in the United States.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
And they each have the capacity. Actually, a lot of times you can even record some things, like right here in the hotel room. If you have a great microphone and it's quiet, like right now, I put a do not disturb on the door and tell the maids, excuse me, quiet, I'm recording. And they cooperate, and I can record a vocal track or a shaker.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't disturb. Doesn't disturb. Drums is a different story.
Yeah, sure.
It's actually one of the most difficult instruments to record. And there's a lot of samples and a lot of libraries today and all that that make it, modern and effects. There's so many effects. In fact, I went to see the Beatles' Love in Las Vegas, Cirque du Soleil, and George Martin's son, who George Martin is, the producer of the Beatles. They remixed and because back then the tracks were done, everybody in 4 tracks, and it was like very little, and still sounded amazing. But I heard things that Ringo Starr did that I've never heard before, because they actually can remix and do things today in today's technology that was amazing. I ran and bought the CD, which I recommend. So yeah, it's a very different new world today.
And that's the case with the very special box set album Chicago at Carnegie Hall, the complete deluxe edition. It's very strange because this sounds very modern. It's
well, to tell the truth, I still haven't heard ever, because that was like I think about
there is no differences in the level of the sound,
Yeah, I mean, if I would say this, it's a different option of things that they didn't have back then. When the album finished, as far as Lee, maybe this is a better question for Lee, that is very involved with remixing and taking the album. Many things that they did back then, and I know for a fact that I can go back and go like, oh my God, if I would have had this, I'm not happy with the outcome and all that. It was what it was. It was a very echo room. A lot of things, maybe for the people, they don't realize it, but for them, it was difficult. They were young, and they played, and a lot of things maybe went wrong that they didn't realize. And when they finish, they wish many things, or sometimes you cannot go back and re-record and do it again properly. You do it and you do it. Like for example, talking about Johnny Hallyday, one of our first concerts was at the Eiffel Tower, and a lot of things went wrong. But in this modern era, the producer in France was able to fix some mistakes that happened. Not back then in the 70s. So now what Lee wanted to do is actually give you another option to listen to what they did back then on a new situation.
The result
I'd rather have options.
Yes.
I'd rather have options. If,
Huh.
like, for example, we're using modern sound systems today and different microphones and all that.
Yeah.
And I like a lot of stuff that I hear in the 1950s and 1960s. It's like a sound because they use the room and all that. But it's a different option. People say, yeah, I don't like, you guys don't sound like the first record.
Mhm.
Nobody does. No artist sounds like Santana,
Yeah.
doesn't sound like Abraxas.
No.
And when I saw Chicago in 1974, they were not sounding like CTA 1969 and 70
Sure. Yeah.
already
Mm.
in 1974. So of course, why should they? Nobody sounds like even if they want to do the same arrangement. So it's an option. So I tell everybody, if you want to hear the album from 1970, buy the record.
Sure.
Buy the record and listen to that record for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You don't want no change, then, basically, I say this to everybody. If you're stuck on I Want to Hold Your Hand with the Beatles,
Yeah.
later on, you don't like the White Album, you don't like Let It Be, you don't like Sgt. Pepper, then listen to I Want to Hold Your Hand for the rest of your life.
Yes, because on the streaming, the sound is very compressed. It is very special, and we lost many things in the orchestration and the sound in MP3 or MP4. This is
right. Well, yeah, an MP3 is basically, if we do an interview like this, you understand me, but this is not my real voice.
Yeah.
And by the way, if I had a better microphone, you can hear me even better, but this is the computer Mac microphone. Like right now you have a microphone there, but I have microphones that are thousands of dollars. My voice will not be the same as now.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So it's the same thing with this. I record sometimes and it's a little compressed, and I like some of it because it's very defined. So this is an option. And if I don't like the sound, I put my microphone in here. So there's a lot of options. Sometimes too many options, but then some people just don't like options.
And still about the sound, you did the choice to propose on your store 12 albums in vinyl. Is that the best way for you to listen to music in 2021 for you, the young generation?
I'm sorry again.
You propose on your store 12 albums in vinyl. Is that the best way for the young generation to listen to music for you? Vinyl?
Well, vinyl also is a way that a lot of people that are really, really connoisseurs, that's a French word, right?
Yeah.
Connoisseur. So just like food, some people are like very, very picky and very specific. They know the history and everything about the food that they're eating and the restaurant, where it was invented, was the first place. So in music right now, there's a lot of young people that are very interested in like the vinyl sound. But the vinyl comes with the speakers.
Yeah.
And so right now, like, for example, I'm an old timer because I'm 65 years old. And there's a lot of systems today that the bass is way too loud, Wait a second.
Yeah.
This is so, in my car, for example, I have a very nice system, but everything is like this.
Yeah.
I don't put the bass over here and the treble and all that. So it's almost like, let me hear how it is naturally coming, bass, treble, mid, whatever. So then I can judge, a lot of young people, vinyl is it's a different experience.
You can listen each different instrument.
Yes.
Very cool.
And a good turntable, and of course now they have the turntable.
Yeah.
And a turntable that you can actually connect to your laptop.
Yeah. Yeah.
And record the vinyl quality of sound into your laptop. Not on an MP3.
Sure.
I wouldn't recommend that, because why? It's almost like putting something that is gourmet and bringing it down. But what happens is that there's because we're living in a fast world. For example, I use MP3s a lot, for not for pleasure of listening, but for, it's really quick to send you an MP3 here. Hey, check this out, and or learn this song
here.
Right. Like if I have a rehearsal with my own band, I send 20 MP3s. Hey, this is the show. Learn it, this and that. But it's not like the best quality of sound.
Sure.
Now, if you want an MP4, it gets better. And then if not, I'll send on a file, a big file. It takes, sound MP3, MP4.
Yeah.
And then there's like, wow.
Yeah. and concerning the vocals, I have been personally marked by the voice of Peter Cetera. Can we say that the work of Peter has elevated the band to another kind of sound, maybe in the 80s?
Oh, Peter Cetera, I mean, look, I was a Chicago fan before I joined Chicago. And Chicago had, me personally, I mean, even though a lot of people sang harmony and all that, it was like 3 singers and 3 different colors.
Yeah.
It was Peter Cetera on the high voice. And I'm talking about CTA, Chicago 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way, the 80s. At different eras, everybody, of course, things happen, life happened. Tragically, Terry was not there anymore. So then, of course, when Terry was not there anymore, the other guys step up. And that's what this band does a lot. I mean, even when we've had situations currently that somebody's sick or whatever, we cover for each other.
It's always difficult to find the right voice for a band, a next voice. It's always
Well, it's not difficult if you get a versatile, like this band right now that we're having in 2021 is very versatile. Somebody, oh man, I have a sore throat, this and that. Don't worry, I'll cover. Lou covers for the lead singer, Neil, and Robert, and and we all cover, and there's more singers. And hey, I can sing background also, but there's already, the background is there already. But if they ever need me, I'll do it. But I'm not doing it. I'm just playing drums. You need me on percussion, I play percussion too. And so, like, we're a very versatile band. We're doing Chicago music, but we can do a lot more than just Chicago music. And these guys, when they started, Peter Cetera is an incredible voice. So like in the 80s with David Foster, they wrote some songs that it was perfect for Peter, and they became hits. When a song becomes a hit, it's all over the place, But then when Terry came out with 25 or 6 to 4 or Free, Terry, I wanna do that. I mean, that voice was not Peter Cetera, but it was Chicago signature.
Yeah, because I was listening this very last day, the Genesis album, Calling of Station, with a complete different voice. And this album from the 19th is not included in their discography. I guess that they don't like the voice from the special album with the not Phil Collins included,
Yeah, I don't know. I cannot answer that because I don't, that's not my decision. To when they do this band has so many things going, I don't know what decision is to what to sell and what to do and whatever. All I know is that every night we continue to play for sold out crowds, and sometimes more than sold out. Like we just played a place in Joliet, close to Chicago, where the tickets were getting higher and higher and higher because like people wanted to come in. And so when we play next year, we're going to be playing I think the summer tour. We always play the big room.
Cool. Yeah.
And this year, of course, we started in June, and because of COVID, I'm sure 1.5 years people would not go to the concert. we did big rooms that usually we would do with two bands, like Chicago Earth, Wind and Fire, Chicago Doobie Brothers, Chicago REO Speedwagon. And this last time we did Chicago only, and it filled up. We didn't need a second band, so the rooms were packed. And what people want to hear is the story and the soundtrack of their lives.
Yeah.
I find that, and this band, it's, you know, we actually play, when we play 2 hours,
Yeah.
there's still about 10 hits that we cannot do.
Yes, it's about Saturday in the Park. How can you explain that we, the listeners, always find happiness while listening this hit single? Maybe because the message is simple, in fact, and universal. It's yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you mean like the lyrics, the words,
Yeah.
Saturday in the Park?
Yes, I have always these songs during the many days of the week. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they become almost like national anthems, you know, that does anybody really know what time it is?
Yeah.
Robert, yeah, that goes to show you, you know, Robert Lamb, some people go, oh, it's not the original band, this and that, but we have two guys in the band that are Rock and Roll Songwriters Hall of Fame.
Okay.
That's not a title that every band has. There's a lot of band that has 4 members.
Yeah.
Or 5 members. Nobody is in the rock on the Songwriters Hall of Fame. Robert Lamb and Jimmy Pankow, Jimmy that plays trombone and arranges the horns and everything, you know, and he wrote a lot of hits with Chicago.
Yeah.
And so like, so basically Robert and him alone, the songs are memorable.
Yeah.
You know,
Chicago is a legend.
You know, how many times do you say that, whether you're married or you have a girlfriend or whatever? It goes like, are we going to dinner? It goes, just you and me, baby. Just you and me. And, you know, it becomes like a vocabulary. Does anybody really know what time it is? It's time to have a good time. It's time for the new year. Does anybody really know what time it is?
In the park. I
and
guess
then
it's
Saturday in the Park.
Yeah.
So like 4th of July is a huge celebration in the United States, but every Saturday in the United States, if it feels like I thought it was the 4th of July, it's a special Saturday.
Magic,
exactly.
Magic. Yeah.
So Robert, you know, and the thing that to me personally is that all these guys were young.
Yeah.
They were young when they played that music and came up with that music. I mean, imagine, you know, you haven't even lived your full life, but you already wrote standards in the world song writers that are standards, because the whole world, when we go to Mexico, in fact, I would say in Mexico, the Spanish audience sings all the songs word by word louder than the United States. And they do also in the Philippines. I mean, you have a stadium singing out loud all the words in English, and I'm on the drums going,
wow.
What? This is a show for me. I want to pay for this.
Sure. And my last question, because I know that your time is precious, for today is, will we have the chance to see you in France, maybe in next future? No.
I hope so. We played, I think, in 2013, something like that. I forgot, for 14 or 13 in the Olympia.
Yeah.
We played the Olympia. Right now, because of COVID, it interrupted.
You are in Las Vegas in February.
So we do 2 weeks, but we play Wednesday, Friday, Saturday.
Wow.
Sunday we fly to a town close by, like Los Angeles or Phoenix, and then we come back to Vegas, and then so we're there for 2 weeks, and then we continue on tour. We're going to be touring a lot next year.
Yeah.
But in the United States alone, we play, say, like Los Angeles and every town. Around, and then we go north, and before you know it, we can play a whole year, and people are still, actually, you go, when are you guys coming here? Why are you not playing Miami? Well, we played close to Miami, but you didn't play Miami. So it's almost like playing Paris. And then they well, why didn't you play north of Paris?
Yes.
And what about south of
Or
Paris?
south of France. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, look, you're gonna have to travel a little bit and come to the Paris concert.
Yeah, sure.
But I hope really that we play.
Me too.
It would be great to actually,
Me
as
too.
much as I love France, because I've been all over France.
I hope so.
South to the center.
Yeah.
Ferrand, the center of France. I've done drum clinics there. Toulouse, Lyon. I mean, everywhere.
Marseille.
Marseille. Oh my God, Marseille is so beautiful. So you know, I've been all over. We can actually would tour all of France, but you know, unfortunately, you know, that will be almost like a world tour because we have to do probably like Paris and then move on to another country and move on to do the biggest cities. And I hope that will happen.
I will be there. Sure, I will be there for sure.
Bravo, bravo. Yes, I would love, and I know that the audience over there is they love Chicago. Yeah. And all over the world, really. I mean, it's a beautiful thing to see because of technology. You know, technology can offer many great things and some bad things, obviously. You know, there's fraud and many technology negative things. But the beautiful thing about technology is like we're doing right now. Yes. The world is more connected. Like I have in my social media, people from all over the world. And it's almost like, oh, even if they're speaking in an international, like different language, there's a little thing that goes translate, please. And it translates.
So sorry for my English.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, I don't speak French. I should.
You said some words before the interview.
I say to the people, I speak 3 languages, Spanish, English, and music. Because music is a language. You have to learn how to read and write and speak and communicate through music. And, you know, talking about Marseille, I played with an artist a while back called Khaled. Yeah. He's from Algeria. Yeah. And when we did a tour in the United States, 3 or 4 of the musicians spoke French and Arabic, and I did not speak French well. So we communicated with sign language and music. And the music
universal.
Was great. And the music, I realized, oh my God. So even the percussionists would tell me, Wally, dum dum da, dum dum da. I go, oh, yes, dum dum da. Oh, not dum dum da. No.
This.
Dum dum da, dum dum da. Yeah.
Good. This is it.
So it's like music is a language, really.
Yes. So, Wally, I would like to thank you so much for your time, for your precious time, for your passion. And it was really a dream for me to have the chance to talk with you.
My pleasure. And, you know, we'll do another one. I know time, you know, I'm always here. You want to do part 2 or part 3 as live goes on? Yeah, sure. And there's more questions or people want to know things that, you know, what people pay to come to the concert and listen to the music, because they're always interested what happens. Like now, where are you? I'm in Kansas City at the Intercontinental. And by the way, I just had the plumber fix the toilet because the water started coming out. So it's just like, you know, rock and roll is just like being human. So the toilet, the plumber came and I'm going, oh my God, I have an interview like coming up and they're fixing the toilet. And I'm going, how am I going to do this interview? So I was thinking of going to the balcony or going to the lobby. But then all of a sudden he came with a screwdriver and went like this and fixed the toilet. Voila.
And that's it.
And I went, okay, interview. And so, you know, those are the little things that happen, and we're on tour and there's a lot of things that people are interested in. But at the end of the day, what matters is for us to play the soundtrack of people's life, that they live, that they cry, that they dance, that they play in their weddings, they play in their funerals, they played, and that's the power of music.
Yes,
there.
music helped me a lot when I was a teenager, I can tell you. This is I can you can't imagine how this is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The world without music will be no fun.
Yeah, sure. Wally, thanks a lot.
Thank
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Take care.
All right.
Have fun, and I hope to talk with you another time, maybe.
Absolutely.
If you want. And one more time, thank you so much.
All right.
Have a nice day.
Au revoir.
Au revoir. À bientôt. Bye.